Hey, this is Rusty Walker with NASRC. What I have here today is I have a semi-hermetic reciprocating CO2 compressor. Now the motor windings we're going to check later have nothing to do with CO2. We're all about the motor, and that's what we're going to check because the contractor who sent me this, he sent it to me saying the compressor breaker, as soon as they turn the compressor breaker on, bam, it would trip. And so they thought the windings were shorted to ground, so they sent it to me, and so we're going to go ahead and troubleshoot and see what we can find, see if that's what we're seeing. So the first thing I'm going to do, take my meter and put it on ohms, of course, so that we can read resistance. Then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and check the thermal overload. It should be 150 to around 300 or so ohms. So I'm simply reading across there. And get good connection. And of course, when I'm shooting a video, it doesn't work. I'm reading 172.6 ohms, so that tells me the overload is good. Now I'm going to go between the three different phases, read my phase to fade resistance between 1 and 2. I'm reading 0.8 ohms between 1 and 3. Again, I'm reading 0.8 ohms. And 2 and 3, 0.8 ohms, which it should be anywhere between 2 and 0.3. You know, if it has oil in it a little bit and it's been hot, it may read a little higher, 3, maybe even 4. But as long as they're consistent across the three phases, that typically means the motor is good. So now that we've done phase to phase, let's go phase to ground. And so phase to ground real quick, again, L1. Now, if this compressor were still on the rack, it'd be tied to ground. So I wouldn't have to worry about how I'm going to ground it to check to ground. But since this is on my bench, what I did is I took a screwdriver. I simply scraped a little bit of the paint away because remember, paint is an insulator. I want to get good conductivity between the windings and the motor housing itself. So I simply cleared that, go between here and here, open, open, open. So far, everything checks out good. We're good phase to phase. Our overload is good, and we're good phase to ground. Now, one of the things that can happen with these, especially when you're in the field and you're just taking it off the rack, a lot of times we can build up condensation or moisture on the terminal block, or the terminal block itself could be cracked. So what we want to do is we want to pull the terminal block off, and you can see the connections right to the motor. So I'm going to unconnect. Now before I disconnect, so I make sure I hook it back up right, I'm going to take my Sharpie and write 1, 2, 3 so I know exactly where it goes, and my overloads will be pretty simple to identify. So pull off 1, 2, 3, pull my overload wiring off. Now I've turned my took my fusite terminal block off. Remember, this could be cracked or it could be moisture. A lot of times these things come back and there's moisture on the terminal block, but we don't pay attention to that. We don't go to the windings. We send it in, and by the time it gets to the factory, it's going to be, the water's going to be dried up, and it's going to read clean. So what we want to do, I got it. I'm going to go phase to phase again. We should read somewhere around 0.8 amps, or excuse me, ohms, 0.7, go 1 to 2, 0.7, 2 to 3, 0.8, so they're right around consistency where we thought we had them. So again, we've checked right off the windings, we're good phase to phase. Now we're going to go phase to ground. We're open. We're open. Ooh. Let's do that one again. Open. Open, open. So we are good, all three phases. All three phases are good. Phase to ground, we're good. Compressor is good. So we would put this one back together, get some gaskets, because we got it all tore apart, and this thing's ready to go back into service. Now remember, 35% of all compressors returned back to the factory have nothing wrong with them. So it's a myth when we think and we say to ourselves, the compressor manufacturers don't want us to tear this apart. That's not true. They want you to tear it apart. They want you to do the forensics. They want you to do the diagnostics so that you know what murdered that compressor. The only way we can tell is if we do the forensics. So before you send it in, take it apart. If you need to check the windings, we got a good start there. And that's pretty much it. I'll see y'all on the next video.